Braden here, Spring Fever Custom Calls. We are back in our mini-series on how to do an out-of-state turkey hunt, do-it-yourself style. And tonight we've got this broken down into talking about food. Stuff that I want to cover tonight to help you get the most out of your turkey hunt, okay? So the big thing here to remember is in the spring turkey woods, the days get extremely long. So if you're getting up at 3 o'clock, 3:30 in the morning, and you're heading out to hunt, and then if you're hunting all day long, you're burning a lot of calories, you've got to refuel, and two, you're hunting late. If you're in a state that allows you to hunt till, a half hour before dark or whatever, sunset, sometimes in May, those days, it may not get dark till 10 o'clock, 9:30, something like that. And it's just really not enough to re-energize, refuel yourself, and kind of just re-energize the battery. So I want to try to talk to you guys about some things that you can do to help you be more efficient in trying to refuel on food. Now, the big thing is here is when you're on these trips, you've got to look at things that are convenient, okay? You want things that are fast and easy to do because, like I said, you want to get the most out of your time. You want to spend your time hunting, not cooking food and preparing food and things like that. So it also goes back to, that first question we asked on the first episode. What are you trying to get out of this hunt? What type of hunt are you on? Are you strictly primitive, or do you got a little bit more elements there that you can deal with in terms of do you have a kitchen, or are you in a hotel where you just have a mini fridge, right? So some of this stuff is going to depict on what type of hunt you're on and what you're able to do. Now, what I've found in most cases, and we've done this enough to figure this out, is the crock pot is the hunter's best friend, okay? So you can take this and, it doesn't matter if you're primitive camping, if you're staying in a hotel or whatever. This thing right here, you can plug this in, come back at, around noon, 1 o'clock, plug that thing in, and you can throw it on high, or you can leave it on low if you're planning on getting back extremely late, and you can let something cook all day long, and then when you come back, it's ready to go, right? And it is, it's cooked, and all you got to do is eat. Now, with the crock pot, the best invention, next to sliced bread, is crock pot slow cooker liners. Okay, and this happens to be the crock pot actual brand, and you don't have to get those like, Walmart has a great value brand or whatever. But a crock pot liner, if you've never used one, you put it inside there, you dump your food in it, and then once you're done with it, you just pull the liner out. You can save what you want if there's leftovers. Pull the liner out, throw it away, rinse out that thing, and it's good to go. It's not like your food's not baked to the inside of the crock pot, and you don't have to leave this thing sit on the counter with soapy water in it for 3 days to get that residue off. So the crock pot liner and the crock pot are one of my favorite things to do. Now, as I mentioned, you're looking for things to just dump and go. Now, the things that you can do to make your life even easier is you can actually brown your meat, like hamburger or something like that. You can actually brown this ahead of time. Brown it at home, cook it up in a frying pan, drain your grease off of it, let it cool. Then you can either put it in a vacuum sealer and vacuum seal that pack, or what you can do is just put it in a Ziploc baggie, throw it in the cooler, and then when it comes time to actually, make this meal, you just dump it out of the bag, dump it in there with your canned goods, and then throw this thing on low and let it cook all day. Come back and you've got something there that you can eat, and it's easy cleanup. Okay, that is one of the best things to do. Now, if we look the other way, I've got, in terms of, actual cooking mechanisms, I bought this on my first trip to South Dakota. I was staying at a place that didn't have a kitchen in it. So I bought this off Amazon. I don't even remember what I paid for it. It was really pretty cheap. I think it was about 29 bucks. This is a Black & Decker brand or whatever, but it's a little, 110, plug it in. It's got 2 burners, and we had 2 pans on here, and we were able to, cook off of this thing usually about every night. And so this thing here, it just kind of stays, in the back of the truck or whatever if I absolutely need this. But this is one way that you can do this if you have electricity. The other thing that we use a lot is a griddle. We have a small, like 18-inch tabletop griddle that runs off of propane that we use quite a bit. And, that thing comes in extremely handy. You can make fajitas, you can, cook hamburgers on it, things like that. So that's another thing that has been extremely great to use. With that, though, you do have a cleanup. You have to let that thing cool down before you can put it up at night, and getting back late, that becomes a hassle. But, at lunch, you can just pull it straight out of the back of the truck, throw it on a tailgate, and cook some hamburgers. Doing that, I would also recommend buying, like if you're going to do hamburgers or something, I would recommend buying pre-made hamburger patties. You can buy them in a 4-pack, 6-pack, whatever, 8-pack. You can even buy them in bulk at Sam's Club or something. But I would recommend buying the pre-made patties. You could freeze those and then throw those in the cooler, and they can thaw while you're driving to your destination. If you think you're going to get there and use them before then, you don't have to freeze them. But that is one way to do it. And buying the pre-made patties, you just don't have the mess in terms of, having a bunch of fat all over your hands or whatever, and then you have to, get that cleaned up. You got a pre-made patty, take a fork, flip them onto the griddle or the grill, and, get them cooked, and you don't have that mess. And the mess is a major thing that I'm trying to, eliminate as I've tried to make this a little bit more streamlined in terms of cooking. Now, in terms of making it, making food on a primitive style, and this is something that I like to do, or if I'm making it, not even primitive style, but even if I'm just, hunting and I don't want to go somewhere to get lunch, even if I'm hunting here locally close to the house, I've got a bunch of little stoves that I can cook right there on the spot. Like if I know that I'm going to hunt all day or whatever, I can utilize these. So things that I'm going to look at is, a small stove like this. This is a Peak brand. I bought this off of Amazon a few years ago. It works great. I think that this was less than 20 bucks, and you can see it closes up. It closes up to about nothing. But this is a little stove here, and this is actually a dual fuel stove, I'm pretty sure. But it just screws on, and screw that on, and this thing is ready to go. And that's your stove right there. And you've got this little burner. A lot of this stuff, guys, I've bought at Walmart. This stuff isn't high dollar expensive hiking stuff. This little pot right here I bought at Walmart. You can get it back in the camping section there. But this thing sits right on there like that. I can boil my water, get that boiling, and then I can dump into a freeze-dried bag like this for something quick, something super easy. Or you can dump that into, you can put a bigger pot on here and cook with it. You make your instant mashed potatoes, get this thing rolling, get it rolling to a boil, dump these in, stir them up, and you've got potatoes as a side or something. Or, if you just want to eat that for a lunch and you just eat one bag of potatoes, been there, done that. So that might just be one meal in itself. But this, this little cooking pot, I would have something like this, like I said, in a little stove if you're wanting something more mobile to use. And like I said, you can throw this on a tailgate. This stove here, you can actually put it in your pack. I mean, it's so small. You take this little bitty, small canister here, the small stove, you can put this into your pack, and you can actually pack this with you. And if you carried a bag of potatoes, something like that, or even one of these freeze-dried meals, you can throw this in your pack with a bottle of water, and you've got lunch right there, and you can basically stay out there all day. Now, you may be thinking, I'll just go back to the truck and eat, and that's fine, and you can do this right there on the tailgate of your truck and never really have to leave. and lose your parking spot or whatever. But there's a lot of times where we're walking so far in, I don't want to walk all the way back to the truck to eat. So I'll do, we can pack this small little stove, and one person packs a stove, one person packs a canister, and then you guys carry your own meal. It's really not that much weight in the pack itself. Another little stove here that I picked up this year, and I actually haven't used it out hunting yet, is this little Camp Chef stove, and this is kind of like a jet boil, if you've ever seen a jet boil. But again, this canister will mount to the bottom of this, and it's got a little clasp here that with a handle that pops up and open. The burner itself all fits down inside of it. You have to get a different style canister. This canister don't actually fit in it, but if you get a different canister, it will all fit inside of the cook pot, and it's basically self-contained. Now, the great thing about this is this little stove right here is this little stove you can pick up actually at Walmart, or you can pick up at like Cabela's. I got this one off of Cabela's, and it's a Camp Chef brand, and it's a Stryker series, and they have different models. Make sure you know that. You can pick different models. You can get some that are just butane, you can get some that are propane, or you can get some that's dual fuel. But this thing from Cabela's is $55. And you can screw this on, and this thing will heat 2 cups of water. It'll bring it to a boil in just a couple minutes. Like it's extremely fast. And so you can bring that water to a boil. You can pour it into some sort of freeze-dried meal like that. You can have it for your potatoes, whatever you want. But that's that little stove there, and it's pretty handy. Like I said, kind of big to carry in a pack, but you could definitely use it in the truck and cook on the tailgate or something like that with that. Or, making coffee in the morning. That's, kind of the same deal there. If you need, hot water or something like that to make coffee, both of these stoves right here are great for that. Now, I've mentioned that, and I've mentioned, for lunch and for dinner, I'm looking for dump and go ideas because I don't want to spend time cooking, especially during the day. I want things that are easy to clean up. That's kind of my philosophy for lunch and dinner or supper, whichever one you want to call it. And a couple other great small things to use in those are, we like these little packets of tuna. These things are $1. They're extremely small. You can throw them in your pack, with a fork or whatever. The hickory smoked is my favorite. This one here is jalapeno. We like that one as well. We use that. These little canned soups. I get these. These are Marie Callender. These things are really good for being a canned soup. And literally, I can pour this into this little bitty stove and put it on this little pot and put it on my little stove and heat that up and have something decent for lunch that's warm. And sometimes when you're hunting early April, sometimes, just that getting your hands warm back up or whatever, sometimes, soup's kind of the way to go. And like I said, this is easy. You just dump this in it, warm it up and you're good to go. Now, breakfast. I don't know about you guys, but for me, when I'm looking at breakfast, I am not looking at getting up and making biscuits and gravy. I don't even want to clean up the mess of cereal. So every time that we've ever been on a hunt, breakfast is kind of on you, and you guys kind of, pick what they want. The guys pick what they want to eat. And honestly, it's a lot of just, finger foods in terms of like, granola bars, Pop-Tarts, apples, bananas, things like that are just easy to grab. We can, if we're not getting back till 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, everybody's beat. We just want to get a shower, get to bed. We're getting back up early in the morning, dragging ourselves out. We just want to grab something on the way out. So, things like granola bars, even a candy bar, a Snickers or something like that. Sometimes I even just resort to that. Now, it's not the healthiest thing, but it does what it's supposed to do. But apples, bananas, things like that I can have. Small packs of trail mix. Those are, good to have. I usually have a couple of those in my pack. for a snack or whatever if I get hungry out there. So, this kind of stuff here is, you don't have to have all of this by no means. I mean, I've gotten by on this with this little stove for a long time. And like I said, the first time I ever went to South Dakota hunting, I just picked up this little 2-burner electric stove off Amazon for less than $30, and it got me through the trip. So I've just picked up things here and there, and then it dawned on me one year that the crock pot would be awesome just to let this thing start and let it cook all day, and come home and have it ready to go. So now that's added to the arsenal as well, and that's the majority typically. Or like I said, the griddle comes in handy, but I just hate cleaning up the mess afterwards on the griddle. So hopefully some of this stuff, kind of makes sense and gives you guys some sort of an idea. I'm going to put the link in the description to the crock pot meal I was talking about and I've showed you guys through this video. So check that out. Feel free to steal that and use that. So next time we're going to talk about time management and wrap up this mini-series on turkey hunting out of state. See you guys next Sunday, and remember, put your next long beard on speed dial with the Spring Fever Custom Call. See you guys later.